Welcome to Coming Out of the Dark podcast, a podcast like none other, where women are empowered, encouraged, and uplifted to be the best version of themselves. Get ready to come from darkness into light with a passion to fulfill purpose. Here is your host, Miss Lady O.
Hello. Thank you for listening to another episode of Coming Out of the Dark. I'm your host, Lady O. If you're tuning in for the first time, I want to share that this platform is in celebration of the life and memory of my beautiful sister, Glennis Marie Boyce. She is the inspiration for this platform. All that I do is in celebration of her life, and what she means to me. Now, I would also like to share that I am not a doctor or a therapist, but I am a certified empowerment coach who is committed to supporting women that are ready to break the cycle of self-sabotaging beliefs so they can build healthy relationships, own their identity, and confidently achieve their desired goals. It's my life's purpose to encourage, empower, and uplift, and I'm honored to do this on this platform. I hope everyone had a good Labor Day weekend. For me, this was a 3-day weekend. I was looking forward to this weekend so I can break away from the routine of my 9 to 5 and the daily responsibilities. I found time to focus on me, spend time with friends, and socialize within my community. This was a much needed break, and I can only hope that you all have experienced the same. For those of you that do not know, I post a message entitled Command Your Morning every Sunday on my social media platforms. Now, the message is to inspire others to awake from a mindset to shift into a positive perspective. Well, the previous Sunday, my message was about being tested. This so happened to also be the topic of conversation in the Purpose-Driven Life Room that I host on Clubhouse. Now, the idea of being tested leaves an uncomfortable feeling in your heart. You feel yourself tensing and anxiety rising at the thought of being tested. This is true when we think of it in the form of academics. And it's also true when we think about it as we navigate through life. In life, we deal with experiences that are not always pleasant. There are experiences that leaves us puzzled. It leaves us confused and frustrated and hurt. The type of hurt that makes you feel as if you're left feeling abandoned to figure things out the best way you know how. We try to make the best decisions based on the circumstances and the knowledge and wisdom provided. However, sometimes, we get it right, while other times we miss the mark. We miss the mark in hopes we have an opportunity to give it another try. The desire for greater is important to everyone. We're all striving for greater within ourselves to be a better human being, for our families, and our communities. In achieving greater, we pray to God to open the doors and extend grace, favor, and His mercy upon our lives and the things we desire. We seek out opportunities for what we desire to be manifested, but we forget we will experience the very thing that we are asking for. So back to my Command Your Morning message. I gave an example. You can't ask for self-control and expect not to be presented with situations where you have to demonstrate the very thing that you're asking for, which is self-control. Our journey in life is full of tests to teach us about ourselves and our relationship with God. We will be tested in our relationships. Are we showing compassion? Are we showing compassion to others, or are we self-seeking for our own gratification? We will be tested in our families to love, to honor, and support each other. We will be tested within our communities to be an example of kindness and generosity. We will be tested on our jobs, exercising self-control, forgiveness, and patience. We will be tested in our careers. Are we committed to serving others? We will be tested with our talents and abilities. Is it done to serve others and bring about unity and harmony around us? To be tested is required. It's required so we can confirm what we know, what we need to improve on, and if God can trust us to move along in growth. Now, like I said, it doesn't feel good to be tested. It is a painful experience, let alone a frustrating one as well. We get confused in the test, unsure if we're making the right choices. The thing is, we must trust God along our journey because He is the teacher of our lives. I know we would love to believe we are making our own decisions, and it is because of who we are and the way we perceive ourselves with our greatness is the reason why we are breathing, living today. But I want to tell you, that is not the case. We do not have any control over our lives. And the sooner we come to the realization, the easier the decisions, choices, lessons, and experiences will be. Now notice, I said easier. I did not say easy. We want what we want. Our expectations and desires for ourselves, we kind of set them on high. And we need to know that nothing just happens. For everything, there is indeed a process. The process includes tests of our faith, of our commitment, determination, our beliefs, our obedience, and mostly our sacrifice. It's a crushing of our will to surrender to the will that God has for us. It is the abandoning control to surrender to the process of learning, understanding, applying, and growing. Now, some tests will need to be taken again because we missed the mark. But that's the great thing about God. The great thing is that He cares so much about us and our growth as a people that He will not allow us to be released to move to the next lesson until we learn what He's trying to teach us today, right now. So, if you're wondering, will I be tested? Or if you are curious, if you are currently going through a test, the answer is yes and probably. Test brings about maturity. So I want you to begin to ask yourself, how can I grow in this situation? Why am I experiencing this? What am I supposed to learn? These are important questions that will deliver an answer. You can guarantee it. I came across a quote that said, "You may have to fight the battle more than once to win it." This is so true. Tests will appear in our lives multiple times in various scenarios to strengthen the characteristics within us. So whenever it looks like everything is happening all at once and you feel as if it's too much for you to handle, I want you to remember, breathe and ask the questions. And lastly, be still. Be still to hear the answer. Let go of the anxiety. Let go of the pressure of trying to have everything figured out. Let go of what you think it should be. Let it just be. Let it be what it's going to be. And that might be something that you least expect, because you operate from the wheelhouse of perfection. So everything has to be according to a certain way. But what happens if God wants your imperfection? He wants you to release whatever you are working on, whatever goal you're going after, whatever your desire, your belief, and your hope is in your heart. Whatever that is, what if He doesn't want the perfect version of it that you think it is, but He wants the imperfect version? Because in Him, it is perfect. Give that some thought. You prayed for an outcome, and you see no evidence of it happening. Trust and know that God cares about your desires. So surrender control and ask the questions for clarity of thought and guidance. Being tested is indeed scary because we don't know how difficult or how painful the test will be. It's the unknown. It is for this reason, the only surety we have, we must lean on God and put our trust in Him so He can comfort us during the difficult moments in our lives. He cares about your fears. He cares about your challenges. He cares about your loss. He cares about the traumas. He cares about your grief and your disappointments. He cares about your discouragement. He cares that you feel abandoned, that you feel alone, you feel rejected. He cares that you feel like you're in the shadows. But he wants to bring you to light. He cares that you feel lost at times and you need direction. He cares. And it is for this reason he commands us to cast all our cares on him. I am with you, my sisters, as I am also being tested in areas of my life. It's for this reason I'm committed to taking one step at a time and learning to release the controls so that I can learn and grow. I invite you to do the same, and I want us to support each other as we navigate this life's process. We can learn from each other. We can lean on each other. Your story can help me along in my journey, and my story will help you. Iron sharpens iron. And that's called sisterhood to me. I host a club called Women Unleashed, where the goal is to have women all around the world, regardless of their nationality, to come together and support each other in the way I just described. And I see it. I see this being something so big, so global, so magnificent. I also moderate a room every Friday at 7:30 p.m. called Breaking Barriers That Stifle Your Confidence. In this living room that I call it, we touch on various topics that we discuss here on the podcast. So, example, we're talking about being tested right now. So on Friday, we'll have a conversation about that. And the goal is not so much for it to be my voice, but it's to be the voices of women that are sharing their stories of what it was like for them to be tested in the area of loneliness, the area of divorce, the area of being abandoned, the area of being discouraged, the area of being a single mother, the area of being a career woman, area of being an entrepreneur, but you feel let down because the business is not moving or growing in the way that you expected to grow. You forecast it to be a certain way. You planned it to be at a certain point. You have plowed for a year or more, and yet and still, you still find yourself at a standstill. And guess what? You may be tested. This can be your test. This can be your test of, are you sure that you're called to this? When people don't buy your product, when people don't come into your room, when people don't ring your phone, when people do not like or follow you, are you still committed to the cause? Are you still committed? Because it's nothing like being committed in the room of silence. There has been times where I have started my room and it has been no one in there but me and God. And I continued. I started. I will speak. I will go through my whole program with just me and my God. And eventually, the room will begin to fill. Eventually, someone will pop up and they'll just see me just speaking, and they're wondering, like, who is she talking to? I'm speaking. Why? Because I have to be committed to this regardless if no one shows up, 5 people show up, 10 people show up, or hundreds or thousands of millions of people will show up. I am committed to delivering the message because I am who God said I am. I am a woman who is committed to empower, encourage, and uplift. And if I am not going to do that for myself, I'm going to do that for other people. I'm going to do that in regardless of whatever arena I'm in. I am going to do it because I believe in it. My message is consistent. I don't deviate from anything that I do. It is consistent. I'm going to give you empowerment. I'm going to encourage you to thrust past whatever is holding you back. And I'm going to encourage you to move out of the shadows and into the light so that you can shine in your purpose. This is important, and I hope you join us and allow your voice to be one of the various multitude of voices that will be heard in the conversations in the Women Unleashed Club and the Breaking Barriers That Stifle Your Confidence room. We are not perfect. And I don't know how this message is being delivered to you. I don't know how you're receiving it. Maybe you're receiving it from a perspective of, this is a spiritual message. Well, I'm grounded in God, so this is who you're going to get. Or maybe you're receiving this and you're saying this is touching an area in your life that you just needed to hear this. Well, I'm proud and I'm glad that I was able to deliver this to you. Or maybe this is just noise to someone and it has no interest to you today. Well, I want to encourage you. It's okay, you don't have to listen today, but just pack it away. Remember where you found this message. And when the time comes in your life that you need a little encouragement, just trust and know that I will be here waiting for you with this very message to tell you that you too can overcome whatever test is going on in your life. Like I said, we're not perfect. We don't have all the answers. But together, we can learn from each other. I hope you enjoyed our conversation that we just had today. And I invite you to share this podcast with others as a form of encouragement. If it didn't touch you, and maybe you know of somebody that it will touch. We are responsible to encourage each other, to support each other, to love each other. What does love look like to you? How do you demonstrate that? Give of knowledge and wisdom, support and encouragement. I'm wishing you all an amazing week ahead. As you can tell, I am inspired. I am encouraged. And I am ready to forge ahead with whatever this week has to offer. I am equipped with everything that I need. And so are you. I want you to move ahead and remember you have the authority to claim it, own it, and be it. It's about your belief. So why don't you go about this week believing it?
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Please subscribe to this podcast and like, share, and follow on Facebook and Instagram. Until next time, be well, be safe, and be kind to yourself.